Most of us probably remember how, in the film Avatar, all the life forms connected with each other. And the thought of it was all so amazing that lots of us wished we could just hop on the next starship to Pandora. Well, it seems that even here on boring old Earth, there are connections between trees that are mind-blowing, and it's all going on under our feet. It's now known that trees forge links with other trees through their roots, even if they're different species, and nobody really knows why. It's a bit like they're holding hands down there. It's estimated that 60% of trees are joined to each other in this way, and it even extends to trees that should be dead, but are actually the undead. Yes, rather spookily, trees have been found to give up some of their own nutrients and water to what might look to us like a dead stump, keeping it alive. You may well wonder about the motivation. Isn't it a tough enough existence for a poor tree clinging on in the forest, struggling to grab enough food and water out of the soil to survive? Well, researchers in New Zealand who studied this fascinating behaviour concluded that it was a toss-up between you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, and the trees just wanting to help each other out. The researchers discovered that the stump's root system was entwined with a neighbouring tree, and after it had lost its branches and became a stump, so it was unable to survive on its own without its leaves, the other tree became its host. You might think this was a crafty dodge by the stump, sneaking in to steal a snack and clinging on like a vampire, but instead, the host tree graciously allowed the stump to partake of water and nutrients. When it needed more itself, such as on hot days, it cut down the supply it allowed to the stump, and in dull weather or during the night when it needed less, it increased the flow. The researchers could only guess that the host tree might expect some return on its generosity. There are some people who believe from this sort of research that trees really are connected, a bit like on Pandora, and that forest trees are a community, looking after and even talking to each other. So maybe those old fairy tales about enchanted woods and the creepy feeling of being watched in a forest aren't so fantastic after all. The next time you're tempted to talk to the trees, you never know, they might be listening. Or maybe they're actually a giant, interconnected supercomputer that will one day wake up and tell us the answer to life, the universe, and everything.